Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So excited to be here with you guys. Welcome to Instructions for Humanity. I'm going to check the sound on my end, wait for you guys to come on in here. Hello, everyone. Alrighty, alrighty. Come on in, guys. Come on in. We're going to just go over a few things, because apparently, Candace Owens has another threat. I want to say, I don't know why I said another one. Where was the first one? So we're going to get into all of this. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. So I'm going to wait for a few of you guys to come in here. And like always, just let me know if you can hear me okay. And shout out your city, your country, your state, your providence, your mood, your energy level, all that good stuff. And we'll just wait for some of you guys to come in here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Just taking care of a few things on my end here. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome in. You guys, you guys. It's getting crazy out there. It's really getting crazy. We need to reel this investigation back in because, something just don't smell right. Something is amiss and something just doesn't smell right. And I think that I'm being led. Spirit has some words, right? Some words of wisdom to speak to Candace Owens. I don't know why I wanted to call her Candy. Has some words of wisdom to share with her. So I think this is where we really need to go. This is not going to be a long video at all. We're just about to hop into this vibration. Guys, let me go ahead and properly introduce myself. My name is Tahira, Mother of the Ages. I'm a supernatural quantum healer, psychic investigator, and ascension coach. And, I take us into far off dimensions and spheres or realms of consciousness. I'm one of the souls that is helping humanity move to a higher sphere of consciousness, going into the new earth vibration. Okay, so please help me grow. I would appreciate it if you put a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And like always, if you guys want to book a session with me, you can. There's actually links below, and or you can email me instructions number 4humanity@gmail.com if you have a specific situation. Okay. Welcome in, Star Round 7. Welcome in, Sister Sonia. Welcome in, Kylie. Welcome in, Thelma. Welcome in, Tracy. Welcome in. Okay. I am just so happy to be here with you guys. Very happy. Um, see, I think Source is here. Source already spoke to Candace Owens before, what, 2 months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, when Source said that Candace Owens needs to take some time off. Well, apparently she took some time off, but she came back with more of a vengeance, right? And right now, a lot of people are turning on her, right? And so, one thing I know is this: when a group of people is turning left, you want to turn right. When they're going right, you want to turn left. So we cannot just say, hey, everyone's turning on Candace Owens, let's go ahead and turn on Candace Owens too. But the one thing I know about Candace Owens is that Candace Owens, from day one, her and Meghan Markle, they have a very similar energy. Even though you guys don't think so, they do on an energy signature level. They have a very fantastic work ethic, and there's a lot about me. They're in their masculine energy a lot as well, because the masculine energy doesn't mean you're walking around manly, but what it is the take charge sort of thing, the structure, the logic, the literally task making and all of those things. And you use your masculine energy to get things done, right? So they have very, very strong masculine energy. And some people say that Candace Owens is a man. I think some people said that about Meghan Markle too. But I'm gonna leave that right there. We're not talking about that here today. But they're very, very similar. And so I just have to say this. I know that Charlie Kirk is her friend, was her friend. But also I know a money grab when I see one. And to some extent, everyone's doing it. But to be honest, Candace Owens is the one kind of setting the energetic environment for this to happen. And I've said this from day one. Just because someone is telling you what you want to hear, and possibly just because someone is saying a lot of truths, still does not make them not an op. Okay? And they can be an op in a good way if it happens to go along with your path and your agenda as well. So let's zone out a little bit. Let's zone out. Let's zone out. And let's really examine Candace Owens and this hit out on her. Well, this proposed hit that came out on her, kind of really happened after, after people started to turn on her, after people were like, oh, well, I don't really believe what you're saying, after the interview with CNN, right? And then it kind of came out almost as if this was to save face, right? I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just going over the timeline, right? And so it makes it less credible only because the timing made it less credible. Does not mean that it's not true. Do I doubt that these people have a hit on her? No, I don't. And I think that there's been a hit on her for a very long time. But the thing is, what Candace Owens must understand is the hit out on Candace Owens is a bit different. It's a bit different and it's spiritual. And this is what we are going to examine today. Now, make no mistake about it. If you guys have been here, you can watch the playlist of the Curious Case of Charlie Kirk. You guys have been here. We've been over 50 videos in looking at these things from different angles, macro level, micro level, from different templates, right? And what really has come through for Candace Owens is that Candace Owens has always been shut down. And as smart as Candace Owens is, I'm hearing, was. I ain't making this up, guys. I'm a conscious channeler. And so a lot of times I pick up messages while I am speaking. So I just heard as, wow, I just heard as smart as Candace Owens was. And that's very interesting because I had this kind of thought the other day that what if Candace Owens is setting this up for her to make her grand exit underground, just like all the rest of the celebrities and aristocrats? Because they're all going underground because the Hunger Games are coming. And the Hunger Games will be small at first. It will just be the food prices are up, or just you don't have a job to buy the food. But then there will be an event that will happen, and there will not be enough aid or minus aid because it got defunded by Department of Government Efficiency. And then this is when we will see the Hunger Games. And then also, too, with the Three-Eye Atlas letting out these wasteful frequencies, creating this energy, right? This vampiric energy. And this is another angle that we have never explored. What if Candace Owens is just setting up her grand exit so that she can go into her bunker as well? Because on one end, we could say Candace Owens is just wanting to capitalize because she saw an opportunity. Because remember, her and Meghan Markle are so much alike. She saw an opportunity to become number one. Charlie Kirk was out of the way. We've never examined this. And so, for all of you guys watching, I am not talking. My mouth is moving, girl. Do you hear the words coming out my mouth? What I'm saying is I'm channeling these things. And what I do, is to, as a psychic investigator is I will pose questions for my spirit to start to answer. So this is what we are doing. Um, I love all of humanity, but we are examining, the characters on the world stage right now. So, you know, I'm kind of wondering if this is all set up for her to make a grand exit, but also too, one thing I do know is that as much as she loved Charlie Kirk, and I'm saying loved, it's past tense. I'm telling you, sources, something has happened to Candace Owens because source keeps talking past tense, with her. And yeah, but she saw a window of opportunity. And I think the investigation, Candace Owens is not working alone. Do not be fooled. From the very beginning of her, in her psychic investigation, it came up that there was some sort of man. It was some sort of white man, but also to this man that was in her energy field, working with her, or spiritually manipulating. The energy was funneling up to the Masonic order, and who knows what they're doing with it. Well, I know what they're doing with it, and we're going to get there in a moment. But so, in a way, Candace Owens has always been a massive tool. She's been a tool this whole time. And, Candace Owens put herself in this position. And what really has made Candace Owens a tool is because one thing that popped up very early on is that there was an incident that happened when she was younger, I'd say about 7 years old, and she would get picked on for her ponytails that kind of stuck up and her really dark skin. And I think Candace Owens then she started to feel down about herself and how she just shows up naturally. And as she grew up, I think she really wanted to get away from anything that would be associated, stereotypically with dark skin. And so that self-hate was a it made it very easy to for the writers to penetrate her field and her mind, because as strong as we think her mind is, her subconscious mind, there's that little girl that needs to be loved on, that inner child of hers that needs to be told that she's beautiful the way that she shows up in the world. So I'm giving you a backstory on her energy, right? This is what made her a vibrational match. And so she started working with Charlie, and she started that whole thing of going around and talking about George Floyd was, on drugs, and cancel Black History Month, and all of this stuff that she's literally doing against literally herself. And over 400 years of her ancestors, she's trying to erase that. And so, that is, that's a that's a major thing in the spirit realm, especially when it comes to the ancestors. So that was already, kind of a big negative. And so once these very powerful people saw that she would be willing to do that, because your black card, in a way, what we call it, your black card, you know, it gives you a lot of access, and one of the ways that Black people, we use our access with our Black card, it's like we have this we're just connected deeply spiritually. It's something that we can't explain. I think it comes out of a lot of pain and oppression, and also out of a lot of during the dark ages, what they used to call it, right? The dark ages is not what you think. It was when Black people, Black kings and queens and aristocrats, that's when they were kind of ruled the world, right? So we pull from all of that. In one way, we have a remembrance of who we were, but in another way, we have this kind of oppression that some use it as fuel, and it really does connect you to something very beautiful spiritually, right? So Candace Owens hasn't had a chance to do that. And the reason why I'm saying that, when she gave her black card up, she disconnected herself from her ancestors, right? And it's a very, very rich history. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because what shows up in her field today, and this is what we're going to talk about. What shows up in Candace Owens' field today, to be honest with you, there's a lot of static energy in her field, and she's been weakened by the voices that she cannot trust, because she does not have that foundation. She gave that away. She sold herself out in order to get immediate wealth. Because remember, she is an opportunist, a lot like Megan. I'm not talking about them. I think they're both great, but this is just the energy, right? And so it's kind of coming back on her. What I'm seeing is the way they are attacking Candace Owens is spiritually. Candace Owens is I was gonna say under spiritual attack, but it feels like she's getting arrested spiritually. And this is why Source keeps saying was. She was. Candace Owens is being taken over. And it does not surprise me simply because what we found in the psychic investigation that her feet, something was coming in to anchor her feet down. Anytime there's an anchor coming in on your feet, spiritually speaking, guys, because I remove entities for a living, that means you can't move in the spirit. And then it's easier for these beings, right, to come and attack you or attach to you. Candace Owens field, that's what has happened. She's anchored down, and there are some things in her field that are just feeding her a lot of noise, static, confusion. What I'm getting is her psychic channels. We could think of these channels like meridians and chakra points. Her channels are dirty because her channels have been colluded because she's under spiritual attack. This is what shows up. The witch's nail is still showing up. Erica Kirk is still showing up in her field. There's entities still showing up, and it feels like they're expanding. There's more of them because once they anchor you down, then it becomes really hard. And then they just compound all of these things, right? So there's a very nasty energy happening. Also, there's a tree of life. And I'm not sure if this has to do with her tree, meaning her family, or if this just happens to do with what I just spoke about, her disconnected. I think it's her being disconnected from her lineage, right? These are the things, guys. This is why, it's not all bad when people say they honor their ancestors and all of this stuff, because these are the people that are literally, you wouldn't even be alive if it wasn't for them. She used to return back to her roots. That shows up here very clearly. Back to her roots. Right here. Back to her roots. And because she's disconnected from it, something is taking. Some energy is taking something up from her roots. And that's very important. So she just thinks it's her out here alone, but you literally have your ancestors living inside of you. So what you're doing in a way is you're offering up your ancestors to whatever force this is, really weakening you guys. It's a spiritual game out here. It really is. And I want you to take a look at here on the left side of her. There's this space here, and it looks very old. And to be honest, it's looking a little alienish, girl. That's what it's looking like. Now, this thing is turned about right here, 33 degrees, 20 degrees, something like that. This thing is slightly turned. The eyebrows are kind of up here. The eye is straight. The mouth is straight. These look like lines of age. This is some sort of entity, female entity, but it looks like alien-esque, and the thing looks old. And then we have some sort of energy here, another face looking that way. And then we have something here. And then we have something here. There's a lot. And then we have, look, this is her channels. Her channels are dirty. Her channels are filled with noise and confusion. Noise and confusion. And also, too, even though this does look like Charlie, but at the same time, spiritually, Source is saying this is an ear as well. So the things that she may be getting about Charlie, something is feeding her into her ear. And I'm telling you, because she's disconnected from real Candace, she really can't, she doesn't have the ability right now to spiritually decipher. A long time ago, I asked Source how much of what Candace Owens is saying is true. So Source says about 45% is true. It's pretty good, to be honest. Because even if 10% of this stuff was true, it's still very alarming. It's a problem, right? But the problem is how they are attacking her. They are attacking her field. She's weakened. She's been weakened. Her position has been weakened spiritually. And I already said that this was going to happen. And so I'm kind of concerned because Source keeps saying was. She was. And I think she is under attack and spiritually bonded, right? And she's hearing a lot of static. Just because you hear something, feel something, know something, see something, you still have to understand where it's coming from. So that's why I keep harping on you guys about learning how to read energy signatures. It's not every message. It takes a lot for me to pull this stuff through sometimes because there's a lot of information coming in. You have to decipher what is your own thoughts and what are you hearing from source and what are you pulling from the Akashic records. You have to know that, right? Because if you don't know that, then it's really not credible. If you don't know where you got it from, right? And that's the piece of the puzzle that Candace Owens is missing. And it's because she lost her black card, or rather, you know, or rather she literally is holding on to a lot of trauma and from the way that she felt, the insecurities she felt as a child, which actually made her a vibrational match to just kind of, you know, going along to get along, you know, hanging out in these spaces. She even said that some half of that stuff she just said because, you know, these were, it was Charlie Kirk, it was that. And then you just start to, when you keep repeating something over and over again, then you kind of start to believe it. And then you kind of just go with that because that's what's working. It's the same thing within her investigation that she's doing. Because she's talking about all of this stuff, this salacious stuff, you know, even though 45% of it is true, says source, because it's working, she kind of just keeps going with it. But there's going to have to come a time where you're going to have to understand, Candace, where are you sourcing this from? And it's not your sources. Your sources can't just be random people who send you stuff, who watch you on YouTube. And this is why I'm saying Candace Owens has to get reconnected back to her roots because this is where our true source comes from. This is the source, Candace. It's not people calling into your source hotline. This is where what I feel like Spirit wants you to know this. It's time for you to do that inner child work and to love on her and to bring her back into good standing, back into your internal soul family, because that's where your help comes from, right? And I can only speak as a melanated woman. I'm telling you what it is that I know. Where does our source come from? Where does our spirit communication come from? It comes from our ancestors who have been there and done that and have survived. That's where it comes from. And that's what she's missing. And so now, because she's disconnected from that, something is literally siphoning that. And all she is getting within her channels is noise, noise and half truths. Noise and half truths. Okay. Hmm. I want to examine this inverted as well. Give me a second. I think I want to leave this here. I want to spend more time with this, but I think that that was the key point of the message, you know. So is Candace Owens going crazy? Is there a real hit out? There I'm sure guys, People always have hits out on people. You know what I mean? But it's not every day they can get away with it, especially when you are so public. But I can tell you there is a spiritual bondage, which technically the hit has already worked spiritual. So what do I always say? Something must happen in the spirit realm first before it becomes physicality. So this what is what concerns me. I already see it in the spirit. So it can happen in the physical. The longer she's bonded down in the spirit is what I wanted to say. I'm going to go ahead and get into the chat here. Welcome in, welcome in. Volume's low? Oh, God. I just checked it. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Someone said the volume is low. Someone put in the chat if you were able to hear me okay. Guys, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Oh boy, something's wrong with the mic. I don't know, guys. Let me check. Um, I don't know, guys. Can you hear me okay? You can hear me just fine. Well, why is everyone saying there's something wrong with the mic? Okay. All right. Well, it kind of is what it is. I've already given the message. Um, so that's kind of that. There's no audio half the time? What the heck? Every time some people say they can hear me and some people say they can't. So I don't really know. Um let me check something. Well, it's already happened, so there's nothing I can do about it. Um well, that's really the video. It's kind of short and sweet, and I will just have to come on here and do a recap of this. Not a problem since you guys didn't hear it, but yeah, that's a bummer, but you know, what can you do? Now it's okay, but it was cutting off. Oh, I don't like that. But, you know, that's kind of the message. So I don't know what part didn't you guys hear? Okay. No issues from you? Okay. I don't know, guys. But nevertheless, that's the video. I didn't want to make this too long because it's not something that needs to be long. And I'm reading some comments here. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry. Oh, you just joined? Okay. So that kind of sucks when the audio goes, and because I'm in the investigation, I'm not like looking at the chat, you know. So I can't look at the chat and then also do the psychic work. So so um that's just kind of what it is. I'll listen back to it, and if I need to come back later and redo this, that's what I'll do, because something really dawned on me about what I think is happening, and it's kind of crazy with Erica Kirk and now Candace Owens, and all this stuff I told you guys about, of how literally Candace Owens had went to her when she was this like some sort of Nor god or something, and like I don't know, eons ago, right? I think this was before Christ. And there was some sort of fertility thing that Candace Owens character, I mean, it's not Candace, but in a past life, Candace Owens had went to Erica Kirk for help with her fertility, and I think she entered some sort of contract, soul contract with her that hasn't been fulfilled. And so there's another thing that I want to kind of present to you guys, because I think that this could be happening in real time, in real time. So I'll come back a little later and we'll talk about that, and then I'll just recap everything I said here. How is that good? Okay. Awesome, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you guys a little later, okay? I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine